The word protest is very much so a political word. It's a political term. And a lot of people are mixing up the word protest with riot or with rage or with hate or with words that doesn't necessarily mean the exact same thing as what protest means to many people. I'm big on definitions. How would you define that word protest?
Hmm. Protesting is definitely one of our amendment rights. I definitely think protesting is a verb, but it can also be just a state of mind. Just protesting, an actual definition, I just feel like protesting is whether physically, verbally, um, standing against something or a government, whether it be a government, a store, or a train of thought, violence. It's really what's so confusing about protests to me is what I battled with was what the significance of protests were. So it's like I know what a protest is, but I have parents. I have fed just parents. My mom works for the White House, and my dad was in the military for 33 years, and they're great Black
Wow.
people. They're both Southeast DC natives. But the thing is, they're not revolutionaries, and my dad more so is than my mom. But my dad went from being pro-Black in his youth to being very elitist now that he's, I guess, middle-aged. Um, and so like what the protests mean to me has been kind of distorted because even though I've always wanted to take a part in whatever, the movement required, my parents are more so, they don't really approve. So in the back of my head, I have, the echoing of words of going to change, just certain things of that nature. Like my mother is not, she cares about Black people, but some people might call my mother a coon, frankly. And it's really because she just doesn't, a lot of the things that I partake in, a lot of things that decisions I've made, my core thing, hasn't really approved of. She didn't want me to go to an HBCU. She didn't want me to, what else? She didn't want me to lock my hair. She didn't want, when I did, I've always been natural. I've never had a perm relaxer. When I used to wear my hair in afro, she hated it. It was just so many things that I just wanted to do naturally that she just kind of was opposed to, and protests are one of those things. It's a safety concern, but then it's also more so my parents, it's a fear thing, but not necessarily a fear of like, they feel like it might be a damage to how people perceive me when I'm out there. Does that make sense?